All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. Carter, how we doing, man?
Doing great, man. It's been a minute since I've been on here. I've had a crazy past couple weeks and been running around doing stuff. So I haven't been on a live stream since last Wednesday, Monday?
Yeah.
One of the two, yeah. So it's been a minute. I've been out there, but I'm doing great, man. It's been a great week. I had a lot of fun this past weekend. Had my kids, and my today is actually my brother's birthday. So shout out Colin. I'm sure he's watching because he's a good brother and would never miss a show. But shout out to Colin. Happy birthday. We had his birthday celebration over the weekend. We had all 9. My mom has 9 grandkids, so we had all 9 grandkids and families over and cooked up some food on the Blackstone, and then 5 of the grandkids slept over at my mom's house, including my 3. So it was a good weekend, man. How you been? How's life?
Been good, man. Can't complain. Just dealing with the little increment weather that we've had the last couple of days, but outside of that, everything's all good.
Yeah, it's been nice here in Columbus. I mean, it was nice and warm yesterday, and most of today it rained a little and got colder, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel of winter, and it's we're almost there, guys. Spring ball is right around the corner. Well, we have like a week until spring ball starts.
Yes.
And then so I mean we're already through the darkest days of the off season. Well, until summer, I guess. June kind of sucks, but other than that, man, we're going to have spring ball to talk about. And then after spring ball, you got a nice little spring portal window, recruiting, all that stuff. And leave it to our resident, just degenerate, or I don't even know what you call him, but Richie over here. 25 days until the UFL kicks off. You're the only person in the world that knows that stat. Not one other person knows that. But it's true. Are you going to watch the UFL, Duke?
Or I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
I mean, here's the reason I will watch it. One, I know some of the guys on some of the rosters, I believe. So I'll watch it for them, specifically like former Ohio State players, stuff like that I know. Outside of that, I will watch it for gambling purposes only, because I will say I did all right on some UFL parlays last year. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Bet on Birmingham or whatever. I think Birmingham's back-to-back champs. So just bet on them. They're probably going to win. You'll win more than you lose. But yeah, other than that, it's football. They have a ball that is shaped like a football, and they play a sport that resembles football.
Yeah, UFL. I think I'm more interested in watching the Kentucky Derby, paying attention to horse racing.
The Kentucky Derby is the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. So that obviously, but it's only 2 minutes. You can only do that.
They got races on all day during the Derby.
Well, I know. I've been to the Derby. I understand how it works, but it's only one day. Like, what are you going to do the 6 months or the other 4 months of the off season? You got to watch something. You're not watching the NBA. That's trash. College basketball is going to be over here in a couple weeks.
Dave, I'll probably fill the time with
Dave coming out of left field with "I'd rather watch old people fuck." I mean, hey, get it how you live it, whatever you're into. I'm not gonna kink shame. You're good if you like to. Hey, like Joe Dirt says, I get it. You like to see homos naked.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll probably be watching a lot of baseball.
Jesus, baseball in April. Shoot me in the face.
Yeah, baseball in April. That's where.
I got to be honest. I love baseball, but you can't catch me watching it in April. There's 162 fucking games, bro. Like, wake me up when it's exciting, like September.
I'll watch a good portion of baseball, probably outside of that, outside of baseball, there's nothing. NBA playoffs at the tail end. I'll probably watch.
Yeah, I'm out.
Watch the playoffs at the tail end, and
unless LeBron's in it, I really, who cares? What I'm going to watch? Anthony Edwards.
I think the Lakers will be in it this year.
I hope so. Give me a Luka and LeBron in the hunt late. I could get down with that, and I could watch that because I like Luka, and I think Dallas kind of did him dirty.
Did you watch? Did you see the terms of that? They cheated him out of like $184 million.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, he lost almost $200 million by being traded. Like, I would be pissed. Did you see his comment on Kyrie's live stream?
No,
he commented because Kyrie went live after the game or whatever, and Luka commented on it, and he just said, like, "Love you, bro. Leave that organization." That's all he said.
Yeah. Not to get.
I don't know enough about the NBA to know if that was a good trade or bad trade. It seems like a bad trade to me, and I'm an Anthony Davis fan, but it seems like a bad trade.
Okay, the word around the campfire, from what I had heard, was that they shipped Luka to get cash flush
to move. Yeah, but that's not true.
That they're allegedly going to try to move it, but I wouldn't be shocked if they would try at least look at it.
I do have some people in Dallas, and dude, if they try to move it, it's going to be a problem. And I like Dallas. You're not leaving Dallas. Now you could start a new franchise in Vegas or whatever. Didn't Vegas already get a franchise?
Mm-mm.
So I thought LeBron already had a franchise there that he was starting. But
I think
you're not moving the Mavericks out of Dallas. It's not happening. There's too much money in Dallas. They're not going to be able to do it.
Well, the only thing that I could people said that they were never going to move the Supersonics, and they moved them to Oklahoma City. That wasn't on my bingo card.
Yeah, but moving out of Seattle is really different than moving out of Dallas.
To the league, they'll be able to justify it because people are giving their tickets back or trying to give their tickets back.
Only because you did it.
I'm just saying.
If you don't trade the face of the franchise, nobody's giving tickets back.
It's the one thing with Dallas is, I guess this will be my elaboration on it. If they try to sell it to the league, they can say our ticket sales have plummeted. And
you're going to have a hard time selling that to the league because of the history of Dallas and what they've done. And and Dallas is one of the largest markets in the country. Like you're not going to be able to sell them that Vegas is a better market than Dallas. It's not.
I get it, but I would put almost any amount of money on the fact that the Mavericks don't move. It's not. It's just, and I get it. They've come out and said they won't move, but not than Dallas. I promise you, Dallas is sneaky rich, and like. Oh, I don't think the area. When it comes to the NBA, I just feel like their TV dollars are so remote as far as in-person viewing.
Yeah.
I
get that. And as far as comparing Seattle and Dallas, and then we can move on. I don't want to spend too much on the NBA. I don't follow it. But Seattle, you also have to take in the demographics and not even the politics, but just the type of person that lives in the area. And Seattle has a much lower pro sports or just sports enthusiast. Like Dallas is a hotbed for sports, and there's tons of money, and there's tons of it just the economics of it wouldn't make sense to me. And I don't think Dallas would. I know for a fact Dallas would not just lay down and let them leave.
I would be the only thing that I'm curious about, and this will be the last topic about teams moving.
Yeah.
Like the Pirates, Bob Nutting can move them at any time. When the lease is up, he can move them at any
Yeah,
time.
but he's poor.
No, Bob Nutting's the 9th richest owner in Major League Baseball. He's not poor by any means. He's robbing the city of Pittsburgh blind. You know what he pays in a lease to the city? Because
Probably
they don't. He pays $1.
Yeah, that's what I said. Probably nothing. But well, okay. So what does his money consist of? Like, is he actually cash rich, or is he just net worth rich? Then why the fuck doesn't he spend any money?
Because he doesn't need to. Just hear me out on this.
I mean, I will. I don't know anything. I know Pittsburgh's one of the worst cities in America, but other than that, I know nothing.
Okay. With all that, take the Browns bias out of this.
No, that's not Browns. There's a lot of biases though.
But okay, when it comes to the Pirates, they get good every 10 years. Bob Nutting doesn't put any of his own money into the team itself. Whatever the team makes is whatever they spend. He owns pretty much almost up and down the eastern Appalachia, every ski resort he owns.
Okay.
So all the high-end clientele that live on the East Coast that go to ski resorts and all that stuff, they call them the Hillbilly Prince in Pittsburgh. They call him the Hillbilly Prince.
Okay. All right.
And then what he did when people were saying bad things about him not spending money in the Pirates, he bought up all the media outlets. So whatever it is, like 93.7 The Fan or whatever in Pittsburgh, he owns that radio station. That's the flagship. He owns it. He owns the Post-Gazette, and he's trying to buy the Trib, I believe. So if you write negative things about him, you're not going to work for him.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I mean, hey, good for him. I still think you would make more money if you spent more money, but at least with the Dolan family in Cleveland, I know they're poor. Like they're not poor. Like for you and I, they're rich as shit. But like for MLB owners, they're poor.
It's just yes. What Dave's here is yes, that's what he's doing. Yeah. Because he pulls all the money out of it and takes all the money out of the team and does not reinvest into the roster.
But it's different than like the Dolans in Cleveland, because the Dolans are rich on paper. And like they have business in it, but like a lot of their net worth is derived from their ownership of the Indians. So like when it comes time to like pay players, they don't have a bunch of cash. Like they're the complete opposite of Jimmy Haslam, who owns the Browns. Jimmy Haslam is like cash rich, one of the most cash rich owners in the NFL, because he's got oil money like Jerry Jones. Yeah. And so like when it comes time to guarantee a serial massage rapist $230 million, he can do it like that. Whereas down in Cincinnati, when you have to guarantee $200 million of Joe Burrow's contract, well, there goes all your cash into escrow, and now you can't guarantee any money for T. Higgins because you don't have the cash to do it.
Right.
But I know the MLB is different, obviously, as well, because there's no salary cap and all that stuff. But
the baseball thing is different because the owners like Steinbrenner spent whatever he wanted for years. Yeah,
but the thing that's not different is when you sign a player to a contract in the MLB, it's all guaranteed, so you have to put that money into escrow. Mm-hmm. And so, and the only reason Steinbrenner and the Mets owner can do that stuff is because they're so cash rich. They just have tons of cash. And so with the Dolan family, like Frankie Lindor, for instance, the Indians could afford to pay him what he got from the Mets. They just can't afford to pay it guaranteed because they can't put that much money into an escrow account right now, or else they wouldn't be able to run the team next year. And so it's a whole different thing, and that's why small markets are screwed in the MLB, but every now and then you catch fire.
just one last thing. Being a Cubs fan, I think the Cubs aren't spending money like it's going out of style because the TV dollars are going to change drastically because people can't watch the product. And
they're going to have to change.
The shortfall is not going to be this year; it's going to be next year when the CBA's up, and it's going to be the same thing in the NBA. People aren't going to see the shortfall yet because, like tonight, there's 15 NBA games on, or 10 or 7. You can't watch any of them.
No, I mean, unless you go to getabox.com, then you can watch all of them.
But I'm just saying. But
yeah, that's
anyway.
No, I'm with you. Anyways, got kind of off the rails there, as we do on a nice little Wednesday hump day. But let's talk a little college football. We got a lot of college football to talk about here. Main thing is, like I said, we're about a week away from spring ball, so there's a lot of spring ball talk going on as far as spring games and everything like that. And I do have a little bit of an update on the standings or the position of the quarterback battle right now in South Bend. And so we'll get to that a little later. But I did see this. Obviously, some of the big news around college football recently is that a lot of schools are canceling their spring games to avoid tampering. And Dabo, who has completely 180, like this is the dude that was like, high school recruiting is recruiting. We don't do transfer portal, da-da-da-da. And now he's sitting there saying, canceling spring games ain't going to stop tampering. I agree.
At the end of the day, he does have a point to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But here's okay with the NCAA, when it comes to the tampering aspect of it, there's no way to enforce it because we've been through you can call ex-coach at what high school and tell them to call that player and do that. There's ways around it.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say, and I'm just putting this out there, I heard it on Menace, and it made sense to me. So I'll put it out there. Let's say Ohio State goes through spring ball, right? And they have Julian Sain and, Lincoln Keenholz and Tavian St. Clair. They go through spring ball. They get through spring ball, and they go, shit, none of them are ready. We don't have a guy. Like, I thought one of them would step up. They didn't. Do you know how easy it is for Ryan Day to hint to somebody close to Drew Aller, hey, if you didn't like how spring looked in Penn State, come on over to Columbus. Because I know how easy it is. Do you know who Drew Aller's personal quarterback coach is?
Yeah, and I don't think we should say his name.
No, it just happens to be the same guy that's training Ryan Day's son.
Yeah.
So if he goes to watch RJ at a workout and talks to the coach and says, you know what, I think we're going to have to get in the portal and look for a quarterback. If you know anybody, just let me know if you have anybody you think might be a good fit for us. What do you think that coach is going to do? First thing he does is call Drew and be like, hey, if you don't like how it looks there, Ryan's looking. And guess what? Nobody tampered. Nobody broke any rules. But how are you? I mean, even if it was illegal, how do you even govern that?
Oh, there's no way to govern the tampering thing because of the portal windows. Now, do I think things are going to next year for the calendar? Do I think things are going to drastically change? Yes.
We'll see. I hope so.
And one of the,
Dave brings it up right here. This is the most common way of tampering: is the agents are in direct contact with coaches or collectives, and they talk to the agent. They didn't talk to a player, so that's the most common way. But there's so many different ways, like I just exemplified. But the other thing is, the only thing I'll push back on Dabo on this is I do think that spring games are almost like highlight tape for young players, right? Players that aren't actually going to play during the year can go out in the spring game. I mean, if you watch Notre Dame or Ohio State spring game, there's going to be some young guy that shows out that you're not going to hear his name the rest of the season. But what that does is that gives college coaches tape to say, hey, you were a baller. You're not going to see the field at Notre Dame. Why don't you come over here and you can start right away?
The only thing that I look at when it comes to the spring game is that it's something that they started to do for fans. And
yeah, for sure.
With the way the calendar's set up now, does it even benefit anybody? And I'm not saying get rid of spring football, but to a point I am. Is it really – wouldn't it be more beneficial to do stuff in June than in April?
Yeah, but you're talking about changing a lot, which I'm not saying that it's not a good idea. I just mean, so the way it's set up now and the way that it has to be set up right now is it's set up with the academic calendar, right? Like you can't do stuff in June. They're on summer break.
Okay. Can we address the elephant in the room?
The obvious answer is make them employees and then they don't get summer break.
Well, not even the whole make them employees thing.
That's the only way you can do it.
I'm just saying, does anybody care about progress towards degree anymore?
No, it's not even that. It's just it's just if you change the calendar, you can't physically force them to be on campus in June right now. Like there's no way to do that. There's no way to enforce that. So they're going to be on campus in March and April because they're in class. So you can't force them to be on campus in June. You can't. It's just not allowed. Now, if you change it, like I said, i.e. make them employees, then you can force them to do whatever the fuck you want. And so if they have to be there in June, that's part of their employment. But if you don't make them employees, it's like it's what I tell people, like clients all the time, like, yeah, you can have 1099 employees, which is like contract employees. Do you know what the labor board, the first thing they do when you have somebody as a 1099 is they ask you, do they have a schedule? Because if they have a schedule, if you are telling them they have to be here at a certain time and leave at a certain time, then they're employees. They're not 1099 because the crux of contract work is you do it on your own time, right? You do it based off your schedule. But if an employer starts telling you when you have to be somewhere, when you have to do things, then you're an employee. So as soon as you start telling them you have to be here in June, well, okay, well, now I'm an employee of the university.
Yeah, the way things that football can make things move at the NCAA, I think that they could call it a voluntary workout, just like OTAs in the NFL.
Yeah, the difference is, that's a whole nother. I mean, I get what you're saying, and yes, you can call it voluntary, just like OTAs. But you also like that you get into such a gray area there because, yeah, it's voluntary, but do you punish them if they don't show up? Like, well, no, obviously you can't punish them, but you can definitely punish them. Well, right? Just like OTAs.
I mean, when it comes to punishment in college anymore, can you really do anything? I mean, Ollie Gordon got a DUI and they didn't suspend him at all.
I think that's more about who his coach is, but it's just and Dave makes exactly making employees with contracts solves all of this. Yes, that is the answer. Unfortunately, no university wants that to be the answer because of everything else that goes along with it. Like, I don't know. How about if you are an employee of a state university, you automatically get state pension?
Yeah,
I mean, like there's so many reasons why they don't want it, but like, yeah, it would solve all the logistic issues for sure.
It's a slippery slope, but one thing that makes it interesting is that they're trying to get rid of collectives, and they're trying to get rid of the donor to donor thing. I heard some people talking about that today, and I said, okay, well, if big donor owns a company, let's say he owns, I don't know, Thurman's,
the limited brands.
And so let's say he owns Thurman's. I want Jeremiah Smith to sell me a cheeseburger. That's NIL. That completely goes around the collective because it's the corporation giving it to him and not the owner personally. So I think that they have an issue there, and I think cutting it down to one transfer portal window will help some of it. And there's not going to be enough. The roster spots are the big thing that I'm hung up on. Because you're going to have guys that aren't going to have spots, like that golfer from Oklahoma. They ain't got a spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, in other sports for sure. In football, there will be 105 players or whatever the limit is. They'll have a spot for all of them.
And I think there's going to be a thing to where they can opt into having walk-ons, but you only get 25 guys.
Okay.
So I think that's on the table, but there's a lot of things on the table. But I do know if they make them employees and break off, they're a direct competitor to the NFL, and college football will get steamrolled.
Yeah, that's another issue you have to deal with.
Because I'm just telling you, you could put Browns Bengals on at 1:00 on Saturday. Good luck, TV people. Good luck. Yeah.
I agree, but do you think, because here's like, and we are going so off the rails right now, which is fine. So here's one question or the one thought I have when you bring that up. Do you think the NFL understands the value of college football and what it does for them?
I don't think the NFL, if they don't care.
But
they don't care.
I don't know if that's true. Because do you understand, like, if you had a minor league system in football, how expensive that would be?
No, because
Dave just said it. Yeah. Minor league, they'd be cutting off. Like, I don't think people realize that, like, minor league baseball is an expense for the major league. Like, it's like the WNBA. Like, it's subsidized by the MLB. So the NFL right now has an absolutely free minor league system that they don't have to pay a dime for. They don't do anything for. It costs them nothing. So would you really attack that?
Oh, it's not even really attacking it. It's just that you're a direct competitor with us because you have employees.
They've already been one. I mean, as far as TV ratings go, they've already been a direct competitor for years. And the NFL hasn't done anything.
They don't play college football on Sunday.
No, I know. No. No. But what I'm saying is, if the NFL wanted to go after the Saturday market, they could have for years with absolutely no repercussions.
They have a handshake agreement with Congress because they're amateurs.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
I doubt that's the reason. I doubt it, because if that's a reason, if they saw money signs at playing on Saturday, they would do it. Congress can fuck itself.
They would be declared a monopoly, and then they would want to break it up. The one thing that the NFL does,
how would they not be a monopoly if they're employees?
Because they would be a direct competitor. It's like AT&T and Verizon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
It's the college football. Do you know what the networks would have to pay to get 5 games on Saturday or even 3 games on Saturday? It would cut the viewing in half.
No, I understand that. I just I still think that there's value in what college football does.
Oh,
and so I don't think the NFL is going to come after it.
I think if they make them employees and make them a direct competitor, yeah, they'll come after it, because what does the NFL do? They crush everything that gets in their way.
Well, not that I know the NFL is bigger than college football. I know it gets more views. I know all that. I don't think you're going to be able to crush college football. There's just too much. There's too much there. Like Dave said right here, you're not, minor leagues cost money. You're not getting 100,000 people to show up at the big house for Lions Junior. Like it's because it's Michigan, right?
Yeah.
And if you take that away, you're going to lose a good portion of the fan base. And so I think I think college football can hold its own.
The NFL wouldn't be taking anything away. They just go to CBS and say, "Hey, you want NFL games on Sunday and Saturday? What are you charging for ads?"
All right, that's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm not. I'm with you.
Sorry, we're not going to be showing Rutgers, Minnesota, people. We're going to have the Colts-Texans. Colts-Texans is a bigger draw than Rutgers, Minnesota by a landslide.
Yeah, but Rutgers, Minnesota is never on CBS or Fox or ABC or ESPN.
Penn State, Minnesota was a game on CBS this year.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I'm just saying, I don't like it either. But
hold on. Dave's throwing facts out here. There's no antitrust exemption for the NFL. Only baseball, which is weird, but I get it.
So, but anyway.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that was 32 minutes of us talking completely off script, other than bringing up Davos for a second. So, what I'd like to do right now, we're going to have to reformat this a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and reset the show here real quick. So if you're out there on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, anything like that, come on over to YouTube, get in the chat. We got Dave and Sid and Richie here and all kinds of people. So get in the chat. That way we can interact with you. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. But let's get a word from our partner real quick, Duke.
Yep.
All right, what's up, guys? If you have been watching the show for a while, you know, if you're like me, that you love a good nicotine pouch. So that's why we're super excited to offer our first ever promotion here on the show. ALP pouches, ALP pouches, the new standard in nicotine pouches. A better time with ALP pouches. A better time isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. We love nicotine pouches, and we're here to share that love. Better products, better experiences, and a genuine commitment to a better world. That's why a portion of every sale goes to real causes, not political players. Simple, honest, and yes, better. Best part about ALP pouches is you get more pouches in every tin. That's right, you get 20 pouches per tin as opposed to the regular 15. Also, tins come in 3 different strengths from 3, 6, and 9 milligrams, so you can pick your strength. And amazing flavors. All the pouches come with enhanced moisture, so no more dry pouches chafing your lips or giving you cuts and scratches on your inner lips. They come in all sorts of great flavors, all your typical flavors, or try my favorite, the refreshing chill or the tropical fruit in the 9 milligram. ALP isn't just better, ALP is the new standard. Created by real users, not suits in a boardroom. We've made the product they never could. So go over to alppouch.com/Duke Show. That's ALPPOUCH.com Duke Show to get 10% off your first purchase of America's newest nicotine pouch standard.
Oh.
There we are.
Hold on. Yeah, kind of. Hold on one second. I don't know why I just did that. That's weird. All right, there we go. Fixed it.
All right.
Anyways. Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I just threw a tropical out pouch in. It's delicious. Go out to outpouches.com. Get your pouches. If you are one of those guys that choose the tobacco, like I did, I used to dip Kodiak and Grizzly for a long time. Trust me, way better. Get yourself some pouches. You'll be happy. Outpouch.com/Duke Show. But yeah, let's get into so the one thing that I thought was interesting is here is a list I saw of the top players in college football that I guess turned down the transfer portal. Like maybe they had offers they were tampered with, whatever. What do you see like when you look at this list? First of all, anybody surprising on the list?
Going through this for the teams that needed a quarterback, Avery Johnson, not shocked. I don't think the Woods kid was leaving. There was grumblings, but I'm pretty sure he was locked in. Kenny Dillingham went out and raised a ton of money to keep Tyson. Cam Bell probably could have left if he wanted to stay there. Lenoris Sellers was a lot of people. I think he got a big raise. Dante Moore. Here's the deal. I don't know why you would leave playing with Arch Manning. There's no incentive to doing that, in my opinion. The Carnell Tate thing was interesting. I think Oregon tampered with him? Hell yeah.
Oh, for sure. Carnell Tate, yeah.
And so the last guy on the list here, Raiola. I know whenever I say this, we'll probably get DM'd like somebody else, but am I shocked that Matt Rule kept him? Yes. Do I think Raiola transfers? I say it's a coin flip at this point.
Okay.
I think he's about as stable as Lane Kiffin at Tennessee. Lane don't even know what Lane was doing.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Why are you surprised Matt Rule kept him? I'm not at all.
Oh, I'm definitely surprised because I think that's why Matt Rule hired Dana Holgerson.
Oh, it could be for sure. That could be.
So I think it was a ditch effort to keep him, and I think there's some guys that here's my thing, and this is a little bit deeper conversation than what we can have today. But we'll go through the rest of the topics a little rapid fiery. But I want to expand on this a little bit.
Okay.
Remember when we were arguing about Billy Napier?
Yeah. I mean, which time? But yeah.
But it wasn't really an argument; it was a disagreement. But on the Napier thing, it was if you fire too many guys, it's not going to be a good look on the university. You make your job unattractive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
understood. Yep.
At a certain point in time, when Nebraska fired Frank Solich, winning 10 games every year, there was the gap between Bo Pelini. What'd Bo Pelini do? Went 9-3, 10-2 every single year.
Same. Yeah.
Ever since they got rid of Bo Pelini, who'd they hire? Mike Riley, the guy from Oregon State, didn't work out.
Scott Frost.
Scott Frost was drunk a lot. So,
damn.
Well, what do you mean? There was a story out there.
Hey,
there is a story out there that they would not get off the golf simulator. You can call a source and ask them.
Well, but, bro, have you ever been like locked in a session on the golf sim? Like, I'm playing the ride of my life.
I'm just saying.
It's like being on a heater at a blackjack table. You never leave when you're on a heater.
And the last thing I got on this, maybe Scott Frost learned some things being at Nebraska. And that's, another thing that I've always said, don't coach your alma mater. Don't be the head coach at your alma mater.
You are big on that, yeah.
So I think Scott Frost going back to UCF, maybe he'll turn the career around, and it's like Rich Rod going to West Virginia. Yeah. Should have never left.
Isn't that almost like going back to your alma mater, like the school that made you?
No, because it's different. Because you're not. I
know. I get it, but I mean, is he from Lincoln, Nebraska?
I think he's from Nebraska. I mean, he won a national championship there. I mean, he won a national championship at UCF too. But you know what I'm saying. But
yes, I know. Yeah.
Being like, I mean, it kind of worked out for Harbaugh, but he
won a natty. What do you mean? How didn't it work out?
Well, they were going to fire him.
Yeah, and then he said, "No, I got this guy, Connor, for good."
But yeah, I'm just saying that typically it doesn't work out when you go back to the alma mater, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. But
because Arkansas, remember that Arkansas before Jimmy Johnson took the Miami game, Arkansas wanted to hire him bad.
Yeah,
because he went to Arkansas, so it's just interesting times.
Yeah. But let's get some comments and then we'll rapid fire some stuff and get to Notre Dame here. My kid went to a blue chip camp when Callahan was the coach. Callahan never showed. Well, if you didn't already need a reason to know that Bill Callahan not a great coach, that's a reason.
Head coach.
Because, yeah, okay, whatever.
I would say that his offensive line's in the NFL when he's a line coach, elite. Oh,
I'm a Browns fan. We had the best line in the NFL. And then he left and we sucked. No, I agree. I didn't mean, but like, so I have a pretty strong opinion on that, like that kind of stuff, because I've been around coaches, and any head coach that doesn't show up to a camp is a piece of shit. Like, you literally, kids pay hundreds of dollars, if not thousands for some, to go to these camps. And specifically, like, I remember I went to Florida's football camp like 3 times when my brother was coaching there and I was in high school. And Urban Meyer was at that camp all the time. And Urban Meyer didn't want to be anywhere ever. Like, if you don't show up, I have a problem with that. I don't like it.
There was a story told about Saban.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the football camp for the kids, Siskey told me the story. This is on the internet, so look up McCready and Siskey, see if I mess up some details. But they would go through the normal staff stuff every day, like in the off season. When the kids camp would hit, everybody was expected to be there.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Everybody,
dude. And like, it wasn't optional. Like, if you had you like, somebody has to die to miss that. And it just, they were the best player camp. And it's insane. That shit pisses me off, honestly. Like, you're not that big of a deal. Like, I know you think you're a big deal, and like okay, I would maybe understand like Deion Sanders not going.
But Deion went to his camps, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Deion wouldn't do it because of the person he is, but at least, like, then you'd be like, it's funny. It's Deion Sanders. But Bill Callahan? Bro, nobody even knows who you are. And outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, nobody knows you.
So the funny thing is that this will be the last thing, and then we'll hit the rapid fire. But one of the crazy things is on this, on that end of it, Saban would walk around and he would get bored, and he'd go down and coach the DBs like 8-year-olds. Siski told me they were like 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, and he would coach the shit out of them as if they're playing. They're like as if they're going to be players at Alabama. Like he's teaching technique, he's teaching footwork, he's teaching it all. Like he is clinicking like a room full of coaches.
Because he's a coach. Like that's what coaches do. Yeah. Anyways, I didn't need a reason to dislike Bill Callahan, but I have one now.
But so anyway,
and he left the Browns. Like I get it, your son's the head coach at Tennessee, but like, come on, man, we needed you. Anyways,
I got about 30 minutes, if that helps.
That helps a little bit. Let's get some rapid fire here. Okay, let's get the combine. So obviously the combine happened, right?
Yes.
And so we got a mock draft from the post-combine. First of all, Isaiah Bond is an absolute joke. Don't talk shit if you can't even run below 4.4. Anyways, post-combine mock draft, Cam Ward's going 1 overall. That's I think locked in. I don't know if you've heard different, but that's locked in, I think.
Okay, I'll spin down the list quick. Should Cam Ward go 1? Is he the best quarterback? Does it help Tennessee directly? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. I think he is the best quarterback, but
I think he might be the best quarterback.
Yeah.
The safe pick is Abdul Carter.
I don't want to get too much into it because I have a litany of reasons why I hate that pick, but for the Browns specifically, it's stupid, but sure.
I would think I don't know. The Abdul Carter for Tennessee, it makes sense to me. I would take him 1. He's the safe bet.
Oh, you're saying okay.
I would flip-flop Cam Ward, Abdul Carter. Travis Hunter's either going to be a Patriot or a Giant. And I'm not even getting into the debate. Does he play both ways? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Whether they do it, I don't
They'll do it. I'm sure they'll do it.
But I figured the Patriots would go Mason Graham. I think the Patriots would go defense. Jacksonville needs offensive line help. You got to keep Trevor Lawrence upright. The one I do agree with is Shedeur Sanders to the Raiders. I think pairing him with Pete Carroll will help his development a ton.
Yeah, he's very Russell Wilson-y.
So I think Pete Carroll and Shedeur would be a good fit, especially with Chip Kelly, a lot of years of experience. The McMillan kid got shut absolutely down by Travis Hunter, and it's also, like I said, the New York Jets. Mike Green, the kid from Marshall.
Yeah.
Fun fact about him, he was actually a 4-star Power 4 kid that somehow slipped to Marshall. Not really sure what happened, but he was a big-time recruit coming out of high school. I think he went to South Carolina and didn't pan or something. The Saints could pick 10 guys in this draft, and it wouldn't matter. Will Campbell to the Bears. Good luck. Your quarterback stinks, but that's just my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with a lot of it. I hope the Browns don't take Abdul Carter. Like, I think he's going to be great. I don't know. Fine, take him and deal Miles. I don't care. Whatever. Fuck the Browns. That shit sucks. But let's go. Let's rapid fire these and get moving and grooving here. Saquon Barkley, bro. Did you see the extension that he got?
Yeah. I mean, Joel Shane, hello.
Bro, how that guy has a job right now is beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me. Like I can't figure it out. If I am the Mara family, I'm firing him yesterday. Like, first of all, the product you put on the field is dog shit. Second of all, you signed Daniel Jones to a $140 million contract and then cut him 2 years later, and told me I didn't pay a quarterback $40 million to hand the ball off, and got rid of Saquon Barkley, who subsequently went on to lead the NFL in rushing and win a fucking Super Bowl and then get a raise.
Real quick, let me jump in. I was watching another podcast today, Sean Salisbury and Herm Edwards on Sean Salisbury Unpaved. It's on Rumble. Give Sean a listener a follow. It was good stuff. Herm Edwards basically said the NFL is like a wheel. And whatever is the trendy thing, like he said, RPOs are the trendy thing right now. Eventually, it'll turn, and fullbacks and running backs, because they alter the defense to fit the offense. You got middle linebackers that are 215 pounds. You know what I'm doing? I'm running 22 personnel with a fullback, and Pittman and Allstott up the gut all night, and you ain't stopping it. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's 100% true. I mean, you look at college and NFL, like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah for the Browns is a linebacker. Like, he's a little guy. Like, and just like with what was it? Oh, Sonny Styles for Ohio State. Like, he's not a big guy. Like, he's big for a safety, but he's a little linebacker. And you think that that's just right now that works, but the offense is going to adjust to that.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's going to be a back and forth thing. I agree. But yeah, exactly. Dave brings up, like, even more so, like, they don't pay that shit, and it's make-believe money that he doesn't get when they decide. Yeah. All these contracts are like a fugazi, you know, like it's all fake money, and GMs that get hung up on it are the worst, because it's like, dude, that's not even real money, and your owner doesn't even look at it as real money. Like,
they don't have to pay for it because the rev share from the TV rights pays the salary cap. It's literally,
exactly. It's all fake money.
Exactly. It just
and the salary cap is fake. Like, trust me, the Browns have been playing it for years, and they suck at doing it somehow, but they are $60 million over their salary cap. And then 2 days later, they have $40 million to spend. And it's like, where did that $100 million go? Nobody knows, but they did some things.
Right. And the next thing, Neil Brown ends up linking up at Texas.
Yes. Yeah. Where I had that.
I think that's interesting, just for the simple fact of Sark's going to do a little rehabilitation school. So I think that's good. Neil found a job somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I know he didn't he have like a little bit of controversy going on there at West Virginia when he was there?
The problem that they had at West Virginia was I think there was a lot of infighting.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason there was some controversy around him. Like, I forget what it was. It could have been nothing, but Dave said they hated him. Okay.
I think
in West Virginia, they'll make it known.
Part of the decision makers didn't like him. Part of them did. So gotcha. I think it was one of those that the regime that wanted him out won the Civil War, essentially. Gotcha. And then they brought Rich Rod back, which I don't disagree with that, but
hey, I said do it. I love it.
Dance with the one who brought you.
Exactly. And then let's get with this last topic, and then we'll get into Notre Dame stuff. But did you see what DJ Lagway, kind of his comments on Billy Napier?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he kind of put it out there. He said that the hot seat talk, they kind of used that as motivation. They were disrespecting our coach and disrespecting us. So you've talked about it a little bit, I think, but I heard it again today. I was texting somebody, and it sounds to me like a lot of the decision making when it came to whether Billy Napier was actually on the hot seat or was actually going to get fired came down to DJ Lagway.
Now, before they played after they beat Mississippi State and everybody was talking about he got the kiss of death and all that, and I just said, hold the phone. After they got drummed by Texas, this is around that time when everything was popping off.
Yep.
And then they go out, beat LSU. They beat Ole Miss. They almost beat Georgia. Lagway gets hurt in that game, and Lagway didn't play against Texas. And like I said, if you fire Billy Napier, it's donezo. You might as well disband the program because you'll have nobody left. And I said a lot of it depends on Lagway.
Yeah.
But, the Florida fans said we didn't know what we were talking about, and it's now public, something that I had knew going into this that we had discussed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it came down to, from what I've been told, there was a big contingent of the boosters that got the money together to buy out Billy Napier. Like, they were like, we got the money. We're ready to do it. I don't know if it was a direct conversation or what, but apparently they got the idea that Lagway was out if Napier was out. And if that was the case, they didn't want to get rid of Napier. So that just tells you some of the power these kids have. Like,
so when it comes down to this, I know we're getting to the Notre Dame stuff, but
when
it comes down to this, when I said that, hey, if you fire Billy Napier, that Lagway guy that's pretty good is not going to be there, and everybody's going to leave behind him.
Yeah.
I wasn't throwing, shit at the wall.
No, yeah, exactly. So that was interesting. That was something that came out, and I was like, and as soon as I saw a little bit about it, I texted somebody down there, and I was just like, what's this? And they told me, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, Dave's here. We'll get this comment, and then we'll get to the Notre Dame stuff. He's our resident Michigan fan, and he would just like to say, fuck Rich Rod. I agree with you.
One thing the one thing that we do when we'll reset the show here in a second, but the one thing with Rich Rod is I don't think that he was way ahead of his time for what he was trying to do.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. But like, he also didn't do a good job in Michigan. Like,
I think he thought it was going to be one thing, and then it was another. I think they sold him on something that what it was going to be, and it wasn't everything it was supposed to be. But after they get rid of Rich Rod, Brady Hoke, they hire Harbaugh back, and they start building all these facilities. Pretty damn easy to recruit, right?
I mean, but
some people say when it comes to, because it's not all of a sudden that Notre Dame, look at the visit list, is through the roof now when you start building all these facilities.
Wow, Notre Dame's been building.
But they say, the facility thing doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Notre Dame, I think, has had good facilities, and they've built over the past. I mean, they've never really stopped building. But yeah, they definitely upped it a little bit. But you also have to bring in the fact that the visit list is up because, I don't know if you saw, but they were 11 points away from beating Ohio State and being the national champion. Like, that could help the visit list too.
Oh yeah, that too. But I also want to say that if you don't invest money into your program,
100%, yeah,
you're not going to get results. Is it by happenstance? Even before this season, they're building like a $40 million new football building.
Oh no, I mean, they know they need to upgrade.
They need one.
So. Yeah.
Also, Ohio State needs one because the whack is cool. I get it. It's the Woody Hayes
It's a piece
thing.
of shit. What are you
But
talking about?
It's
Thing's
a
a
dump.
piece. It's a piece, bro.
I mean, we drove by it. It's a dump. The Woody
I've
Hayes
been in it
Athletic
so
Center
many
is a dump.
times. It's a piece.
It's a dump.
And they keep remodeling the weight room like that's gonna fix the issues.
It's lipstick on a turd.
Whatever. Remodel the weight room. Coach Mick is happy, and move on. But let's go ahead. We're at the hour mark, so we will kind of reset the show here. If you're out there on TikTok, on Twitter, anything like that, jump into YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button, follow us on all socials, all that good stuff, and hit the bell notification so that you get notified when we go live. But yeah, like the episode, comment. Let's see. Who was the better Michigan coach is my question to the chat. So if you're listening, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Who is the better Michigan coach, Brady Hoke or Rich Rodriguez? Who would you pick, Duke?
Well, Brady only won those games because he had Denard Robinson and Devin Garner.
Okay.
I would say Rich Rod.
Yeah. I'm interested what Michigan fans would say. I think I would agree with you, but I also feel like I'm doing that because I think Rich Rod's a better coach than Hoke in general. So I guess I'd go.
They're kind of about the same age. Where's Brady Hoke coaching?
Well, exactly. And like Brady Hoke, I know he wasn't like a nobody before he got the Michigan job, but I just felt like Rich Rod was a bigger name and like I know more about him, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in what Michigan fans would say on that because those are both obviously probably two of the worst coaches in Michigan history. Actually, they probably are the two worst.
In the modern era, 70 forward, yeah, because of sheer success against Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm thinking the farthest back I go with Michigan is Bo Schembechler. And so like, no. Who was the guy? The guy before him was good too. I forget his name. But yeah, those two were good. And then after Schembechler, obviously there were a couple of guys I don't really remember. Then Lloyd Carr. Lloyd Carr was good. And then obviously Rich Rod and Brady Hoke and that. And so
and Harbaugh. And now we got Sherrod Moore.
Yeah, and Sherrod Moore is looking good. But let's get to some Notre Dame stuff and then get us out of here. It's a nice little hump day for us. Also, go buy some out pouches, outpouch.com, /Duke Show if you want the 10% off. But there was a lot of kind of talk and chatter around Notre Dame this week, which is interesting because there's really nothing going on. But we're, like I said, about a week out from spring ball. And I think the two most anticipated battles in spring football across the nation, I think, are Ohio State and Notre Dame's quarterback room.
I know this is going to be unpopular, but it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to say, is the battle won, is the war won, but the battle's not over. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, kind of. What do you mean, like for Notre Dame, or?
I think for both Notre Dame, Ohio State, and like, Alabama.
You think the teams are going to be as good as they're going to be, regardless who wins the battle?
Yeah, I don't.
No, gotcha.
I think the clear and obvious choice at Ohio State is Julian Sayin.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ty Simpson starts the year. Does he finish the year is the question mark about how he plays at Alabama.
Alabama? Okay.
Yeah.
And you think Notre Dame is that clear cut?
I think it's going to be how does Angeli look from the start of spring ball to the end of fall camp.
So, okay, that was going to be one of my questions. Do you think this quarterback battle at Notre Dame goes into fall camp? Or do you think they name a starter after spring ball?
I don't think he names a starter until who breaks the huddle. I think it'll be the same at all three places.
Okay.
Maybe 2 out of the 3.
I got you. Interesting.
Because Ryan's kind of done a little bit better job of announcing who the starter is.
Yeah.
Because he announced it. We're not gonna pick apart Ryan Day's quarterback decision making. Based upon
he didn't do a great job announcing the Kyle McCord start, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, this past year he named a starter before fall was over.
Yeah, because what happened between Morgan Wallen and the end of fall camp? I'm not saying any more than that, but I'm just saying.
I guess he got sober. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, but so with CJ Carr, I feel like a lot of people are just assuming it's CJ Carr, which I think is interesting. And and from what I've heard is absolutely not the case. Like I've heard, so I'll give you what I've heard so far. I've read a lot, but I've also texted with people that not directly involved in the program. But so from what I've heard, Angeli is the odds-on favorite. I mean, they believe in him. He's shown his ability. He's been consistent. Every time he goes into a game or a situation, he's handled it properly. And so I think Angeli is more of the safe play and is going to be the leader going into spring ball. I think Minchey's kind of a wild card where I think if Angeli and Carr don't impress enough, Minchey is almost like a safeguard because I think Minchey can run exactly what the offense was this year with Riley Leonard because he's a great athlete. And so you can kind of imitate that offense with Minchey. With Angeli and Carr, you can't as much. And then I think if Carr goes out and he's looked at as almost like a prodigy, where it's like, dude, you just know one day it's going to click and he's going to be fucking phenomenal. And so if he goes out and it clicks early, I think he gets the job ahead. I mean, he has the most upside of all the three, I believe. I think Angeli's kind of the most likely. And then Minchey's just if both Angeli and Carr kind of falter and they'll be like, okay, well, we know we can at least run this offense we ran last year and Minchey will be the guy. But that's just my understanding.
When I jump in on this, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Kenny Minchey brings a running element to the offense. That being said, does everybody forget how Steve Angeli marched down the field on Penn State to score at the end of the half?
No. Nobody forgets that.
So
no. But so I guess what I'm saying is that drive, not that drive alone, just his entire body of work. I mean, he's his 4th year in the program. He's going to be a senior. Like he's been in his entire body of work has shown consistency and reliability, which is what that drive was. He was reliable. We can put you in the game. You're not going to fuck it up. And so that gives him the leg up. They just, I think the question is, has he already reached his ceiling? Like, is he, because if he was going to elevate past what he's been, you would have thought that would have happened before they had to go out and get Riley Leonard, right? Like he should have been the guy last year, but he didn't elevate. So they had to go get somebody.
Well,
and so this year, if he doesn't elevate again, they're worried about it. Is what I think.
Well, the other thing too is, does CJ Carr what does he look like opposed to being at spring to what he looks like at the end of fall camp when you got to make that decision? And also, let's not forget you're playing Miami and Carson Beck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so whoever you go with, it's got to be ready week 1. Like there's no ramp up to the season.
And the way it's going.
And so that would lead me to, I'll say this, it's going to get clipped up later probably when it doesn't happen. But that first two games? Because they got Miami and A&M back to back. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe they go on the road to Miami and then
A&M at home. Yeah. So for those 2 weeks, I think you could see it get to a point where almost like it did with this year, where they didn't know who was going to start at left tackle because they were like, do we want to start a true freshman or we want to start somebody with more experience? And they ended up going with the true freshman in that case. But I could see them looking at the body of work of all the quarterbacks at the end of fall and going, you know what? Angeli's the safest option for week 1 and 2.
Here's the thing. If Marcus has got to make this decision, I trust him and Denbrock to make the right decision on this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do too. And especially with Denbrock. I mean, that's one of the, I guess that's one difference. If you want to compare like young head coaches making a starting quarterback decision, at least Marcus Freeman has a very established offensive coordinator like Mike Denbrock to assist him in that decision. Whereas when Ryan Day picked Kyle McCord, you tell me who the offense coordinator was.
That's what I'm saying, and I think there's an adult in the room with Marcus that can say,
Yep, I agree with that.
That can hold his hand up and say, "Hey, is this really what we want to do?" And being an established coach, somebody that can push back like a Kevin Wilson, like a Chip Kelly.
Yeah. I agree. I like that. I like that situation a lot. Well, yeah. Anyways,
so
we'll forget that ever happened. But no, I like that, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think I am a Notre Dame fan, but if I'm the Notre Dame staff, I think my heart wants CJ Carr to ball out and win it, because then you're in a good position for the next couple years. But right. I think my brain will be telling me Angeli's probably going to win it.
The only thing that I want to happen out of this is I want the best player that's going to help them win the game.
Yeah, so that gets into twofold, right? Where maybe CJ Carr gives him the most upside, where he can make the most big throws, the most big plays. He can win you a football game. But on the other side, he can also make some suspect throws, right? He could make some mistakes that might cost you the game. So do you play the guy with the biggest boom, but also the biggest bust potential? Or do you play the guy in the middle, like a Steve Angeli, who isn't going to lose you the game, and he can make enough throws to probably win the game? You know what I'm saying? It gets into and that's where coaching philosophy comes in. Also,
let's remember here, there's that thing called the transfer portal that's going to be opening up this spring. So my advice to Notre Dame, my advice to Ohio State, and my advice to Alabama is I wouldn't be making any hasty decisions with that portal window opening, because you could get left in a bind if somebody falls off a couch or falls down the stairs moving a TV.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. I would say all three of those places should tell all of their quarterbacks, you're in the mix going into fall.
Everyone engaged.
Yeah. And,
I'm not saying don't coach them hard.
I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm not saying they're lying to them when they tell them that. I just know if I was running the program, I would tell them that.
Keep everybody engaged, but
yep. But other than that, Duke, I know I kept you a little long tonight, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
All right. Well, with that being said, everybody out there, thank you for watching. Also, smash that like and subscribe button and help us grow this thing. We're trying to get it to a certain number so we can get some things moving and grooving and add another element to the platform that I think everybody will enjoy and like. So with that being said, everybody hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for everybody watching on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, and blow the likes up, and everybody have a good night.